Fishing is my getaway. Fishing is my relaxation. Fishing clears my head. It's a good day for fishing. You got a nice little wind.
Water's a pretty color.
My mom gave me a picture this past year at Christmas, and I think I was 3 years old and had my cane pole, and I've been just so fortunate. My dad took me fishing at a very young age, introduced me to it. I never turned back. Perhaps one of the byproducts of COVID was how many more people it put on the water. You know, that year there was an increase in licenses, all these people coming to the coast. So if we don't manage it soundly and do it with science, then we have nothing.
Parks and Wildlife mission is to preserve the resources to ensure that future generations have access to it.
The sample size seems to be the place where the mean and the standard error tend to stabilize. As an agency, we've been monitoring our coastal resources for over 40 years in a lot of cases. So we have a lot of data at our disposal to understand patterns in populations and how these organisms interact with each other and interact with different sorts of habitats. This is some satellite imagery of the area, and then Fish and Wildlife Science really is a little late to the game in terms of using big data. It's really come to fields like advertising and business and finance. But really, our coastal resources are incredibly valuable to us, not only as humans, but to the local communities that rely on them. And so, why wouldn't we use those same technologies to help us predict what's going to happen when certain things change those coastal ecosystems? We collect data on everything from commercially and recreationally important fish to those that really no one's fishing for, because we want to understand the larger ecosystem structure and trends. But when large things happen to these ecosystems, the first thing we want to know is what changed. And so it's really this baseline data that we collect that helps us understand exactly what's changed and what we need to do going forward to remedy whatever has changed. We're just going to walk parallel to shore here for 50 foot, and then we're going to wrap it around and beach everything we catch, and from there we'll work up the sample. So a lot of times anglers really like to catch the big, big redfish, big trout, whatever it might be. But it's important to remember they all start as little fish coming into our estuaries. And so it's important for us to capture their abundance right off the bat and to know, do they have a good recruitment event this year? What affects their spawning? What affects their abundance as juveniles? Because that down the road affects their abundance as adults, the ones that everybody likes to catch. You also see that we catch a lot of species that really aren't on anybody's radar from a fishing standpoint. You'll see a lot of little crabs, a lot of little shrimp in those samples. And it's important for us to understand those abundances across time so that we can then understand how that affects the abundances of a lot of those fish and invertebrates that people like to catch.
And we'll get some pretty good links and measurements.
The average person may look at a data set and not know what that means. It is that information that directly affects how they utilize the resources.
78.
And it's that information that then provides us the best course to preserve and conserve the resources.
64.
We have programs we've been running for 40 plus years, and a lot of those are just going out and setting nets and counting fish. And I think that sort of data collection is always going to be important. But in the past couple of decades, we really have started to incorporate a lot of remote sensing and habitat mapping type technologies, and just really using some of the most cutting edge technology to help us understand what habitats are out there and how are they changing across time. When we look at that together, I think we have a holistic and better understanding of why we see those trends across time and what's causing those trends across time.
78.
What we do is so important to have buy-in from the public, because if they don't understand it, if they don't see an importance to it, what are we doing if we can't convey it to the public? And I've always thought that that was a really important part of Parks and Wildlife, but we're doing it so that way your children, your grandchildren, their grandchildren can have a place in this world where they can enjoy what you enjoy as an adult.
They're in love with it just as much as we are, and they want to see it flourish, to be here not just for our generation, but our kids' generations and generations beyond that. But it all comes back to having that science. Where would this fishery be if we didn't have Parks and Wildlife, coastal fisheries to help manage this resource and be a part of it?